so you are all in the Vale. Most of you came here in ways that you can't quite explain. Something like the sense of being lost in a short trip on a wooded trail and looking into the sun, and then suddenly you're in another place. Feeling a sense of disorientation, and then you find yourself in another world, and you've been trying to survive here. And you took on work in Perenval City, this massive clockwork metropolis, and they sent you on an adventure through a portal into a desert world where you explored an underground city, and you barely survived at the end. One of you only threw a magical bargain. But you also gained enemies, and you come to be allies with the last demi-human on the council of the city. And she was arrested, and now you are enemies of the state. And also, the last adventurers of Perenval, the last people with a mark of adventure. And she has asked in that mark for you to take this portal into an unknown land and find the fate of her people. And since you've been here, you found that this place has a lot of problems. And you found a magic sword, and you've slain a dragon. And you've met elves, which one of them now accompanies you. And that's the big picture. I got Chris this time. Chris, what happened last time?
Well, it's just been one misadventure after another, really. We just keep barking up the wrong tree, and we helped somebody out, which was nice.
Oh yeah.
But now, we're freeing that prisoner, but his value was negligible in my view, and in Edward's view, to our overall actual job right now, which is the protection of Brandonsford. And Perenval is very nice and everything, but we have an immediate concern. And so in the service of that, we are now realizing that we need to curry favor with this Baron one way or the other, because he's the guy that can actually get it done. And so in service of that, we're about to go start hunting some goblins in a pro bono work that we're doing for the knights. So that's my best rundown, I think, of the current situation and what brought us here. Pretty much, we spent most of the last session just in the sewers, freeing this guy, and then taking him back to Sister Greta.
Yes. I lost.
Hopefully, I'm not missing too much.
No, I'm missing something. It just made me realize, but I'll get to that. I'm sure it won't be a problem. See. Anyways, so my only question then would be, so you took this work, you were at the temple, should we start after you've had a night at the inn, since you hadn't slept no, you slept in the wild. So do you want to go and spend a night at the inn and launch from there? Or do you want to leave straight from the temple and go out into the surrounding villages?
I've got tunnel vision. I don't want any distractions. The town means distractions.
Very well.
It's probably better that we stay out of the town for a little bit. Might be a little bit of heat.
Yeah. Rabbite's like, drinks, they got drink. Okay, you guys make more sense. That makes sense.
I mean, look, we've already established a positive reputation there. So, but we don't need to sit around. It's time to go, and then next time we come back, let's establish that further.
So we're sure we want to help the bear and not overthrow him. That's what right?
Correct. No, this last thing is the last thing this place needs is a power vacuum.
Okay, that makes sense.
Since you have a ranger with you, first I'll describe the area around you. When you leave the west gate, the entrance into Griff's Bluff, there's the long road that travels along the opposite side of the long river and the town. It's called the Pilgrim's Path. And the Pilgrim's Path, you can see it stretch off miles into the distance as you're facing west, and the sun would be to your right front. The sun only rises and falls in the northwest. And from here to the north, miles away, you can see little bits of smoke from towns and villages off in the horizon, and trees, and the long river that stretches its way to the north. Where do you go? Opposite that, you have the forest miles away to your left, which would be to the south right now, where you parted ways with Bretwald, who claimed to be the Baron's old friend and even squire.
We were told that the group we're going after is to the west, correct? Northwest?
Well, you have NPCs.
I'm consulting, I'm consulting with the party here.
I don't remember. No.
Yeah.
I'm guessing we're out of the area that my character would be familiar with.
Yeah, but I'm just talking about what the Knight Commander told us.
Okay.
Well, that's where we left off. So let's just go double check with him real quick before we leave. While I think we're still in the Abbey or whatever. Sure.
This takes a little bit of time.
Understand.
Well, okay, you start at the Abbey, so we'll just say before you depart. He specifically, it's called the Shaggyfur Goblin Raiders.
Right.
They ride wolves or giant wolves or something, and they raid cattle and sheep and cause terror. And the long river kind of bisects Griff's Vale, and so you have the areas on the east side of the river that you all traveled into the Braymill Wood along the Pilgrim's Path, and you went down to Braymill itself, down to the old town. That's like the east side, and then on the west side of the city, and the west side of the river, is what's called the Hinterlands. And the Hinterlands are the area on the west side of the river, but immediately surrounding Griff's Bluff, but before you get to Rebek. And in particular, the problem is that these goblins have been afflicting the four major settlements on the west side in the Hinterlands: Westernell, Bearstead, Horsetooth, and Lindstein.
Yeah.
And they also have other problems.
Yeah, but mentioned. Goblins. Okay, so we have horses, right?
Yep, you all have horses, including the hobbits.
Okay. I'm not clear on OSE's take on mounted combat. You mentioned these riders.
I will check it really quick because.
But we don't have to know the specifics just this second. But I imagine horses would be better than no horses against riders. So I was right. It's northwest of where we're at currently, along the river.
Yeah.
On the south side of the river. right?
Kind of north by northwest, since the river goes almost directly north-south. And
Oh,
in
the
fact,
river goes north-south. Okay.
this is the river that
The only
goes all the way
exception
to
to that is if we
Bransford.
found terrain that is difficult for horses or find a way to channel them or use fire or something.
Well, yeah. Well, one thing at a time. We should probably bring a cart with us, I think. Right? We have one of those, do we not?
It
believe so.
was taken, I thought.
We buy another one?
The cart was not taken. The mule was taken.
Right, yeah. We might have gotten another one too, actually, I think. Didn't we get like a bigger one and a bunch of
When you guys
bunch of
bought the
horses for
horses,
it?
you got a cart.
Yeah. We tooled up.
Yeah, we got like a wagon.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you meet your ostler. And,
The ostler,
yeah,
yes.
and you get your stuff. He asks for his pay.
Yeah, which is what, a gold piece a day or something?
Yeah, and it's been one day.
Add it to the... Where's our notes?
All right.
There it is.
Here are some things you should know about mounted combat. When you are riding on a horse in combat, you have a -4 to missile attacks. You cannot cast spells. You cannot use magic items.
So that'd be a -4 to shooting an arrow, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if your horse is still, or
No. If you bring it to a halt and you're not moving, you can absolutely.
okay.
just
But
have
if
your
we're
normal
moving,
attack.
it's a -4.
Yeah.
What if your character is
okay.
Mongolian?
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you had like a special horse and stuff. Right.
Raised in the saddle.
And then
Yeah.
I am looking to see.
Or Legolas, he would work too.
I mean,
think
he
he
would just
misses.
like surf on top of everything and shoot 5 arrows away.
Well, if it's movie Legolas, sure. Let's not get me started about that.
Let's not get us started about that. Yeah, let's see here. I'm trying to make sure. Aha. So, you have these different things in combat, like disengaging and stuff like that.
Okay.
I want to mention this because usually if you retreat at normal movement speed, the enemy doesn't get an opportunity attack, but they get a bunch of bonuses. And you also get that. Please remind me in case that ever happens. But I do this in Swords and Wizardry, and I just want it to be cooler to be on horseback. So I'm going to say that you can get the benefits of a withdrawal at full speed. You can do your normal speed. So that's the big difference on a horse. That's my version of a cavalry charge.
Okay.
There's also
All right, so-
racing.
I mean, my general idea is we go that way. We go to the first town in the line. There's supposed to be 4 towns. So we need to head towards the closest one. And then ask around, see what we can find. Once we find a likely place to go check for stuff, then we can at least we'll have a place that we can maybe leave the wagon behind if we had to go someplace difficult. That it would be relatively safe. Anyway,
All right. You do actually know a person who is very familiar with the closest town. Helmer of Westernell, that's the closest town.
Oh.
So I will say that you can't get lost. It's a
Very
minor-
It's over yonder.
Yep. So you won't get lost. And let's see, it's clear. So today, oh, and I'm gonna, let's see, who was the caller last time?
The guy was.
Okay, I'm gonna roll a d3 and count down. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah, because horses.
We've got Chris, be the caller tonight. So,
Okay.
if that's okay.
So, saddle up.
The first thing is please roll a d6. And does everybody have food?
I believe so. I will second check. Where's Helmer? There's Helmer.
If you haven't since the last time when you camped out in the wilds after the parting ways with Bretwald, please mark off 1 ration. I see you got a 4. So no problem there. And let's see, you are able to move really fast. So, a base movement rate divided by 5. I think your movement rate on open terrain is 24 miles with a horse.
Yep, should be.
24 miles a day, that means that it only takes you 24 miles a day if you went straight all day. Or actually, I would just say that's as part of your normal day. So it only takes you riding out with, you can see the river to your right as you ride, and you can see forests off in the distance. Smoke from the nearby village rises. It only takes you about 30 minutes, a fraction of an hour to get there. As you come into the village of Westernell, you find a place that is not walled, surrounded by forests to the lands to its west. There's an old road here that parallels the river, though it's fallen into disuse. The trade here does not seem as strong as it once was a long time ago. And I'll tell you some of the things that you see here as you enter. There is you crest a hill. If you're coming from the west side of Griff's Bluff, the river is about a couple miles that way to your right, and the sun is to your kind of left front, and so you're kind of looking into the sun as you go, and you crest this hill, and you see there's a narrow paved limestone road made of slightly uneven stones, and there's an old house as you come into the village. It's kind of like hanging almost concerningly over the road, and a lot of other old buildings that have been here for many, many years. The town square is packed with people doing their work and business today, and it seems like this is built along one major narrow paved limestone road, and at the end of it, past the town square, it all kind of meets at the end at a large market. There's an oddly polished marble road with geometric patterns near the town square that goes east-west. It's also narrow. And actually I have to look this up because I think Let me make sure I don't. Oops. Ah, yeah. And that's probably what you can see from where you are coming into town.
Okay. You said a marble statue?
No, a road. So, like, as you're coming into the town, you have all these buildings, a town square that you can see from this narrow main road that just goes through the middle of the town. Town square. At the far end is a market, and then at that town square is this like narrow marble road that's patterned that goes east-west.
Okay. All right. Well, is there any obvious direction? Like, is there, if I look down this marble road, can I see a building that looks more important than anything else?
Let's see here. And of course Helmer would know all of this stuff. You would know the whole town.
Oh, well, yeah, I forgot. Okay. Helmer, where should we go first to find true information about what's happening here?
Nice. Right this way. And he brings them to the into the marketplace, and finds where all the old farmers and stuff are just hanging around talking.
Okay, yeah. They're doing that, and I'll tell you some things that you see. It's a
You're probably pretty well known here, Helmer. If you're,
yeah.
I mean, it's not a big city or anything. That would be Griff's Bluff.
Well, it's a village. I mean, it's got
Right.
Including the surrounding countryside and everything that answers to it. There are probably hundreds or even more thousands of occupants. But that's the whole countryside and all the farms and everything. But anyways, it's a nice brisk day, by the way. Only a couple clouds in the sky. Helmer, a disheveled little girl smashes into you as you all travel into the marketplace, and she's like, "Oh, hello, Helmer. Oh, it's so good to see you." And she hugs you.
Hello, Paisley.
Yes.
Got a list of names. I'm ready.
I like that one better. Yep.
Oh, did she already have a name?
Yeah, but I mean, that's better. I like that one. No, do it. I don't care. Let me see here. She is an adolescent female, kind of tall and bony with brown eyes and fair skin. You would know that she gets by with a lot in town. And in the sense that, what I mean is that this is a very religious town, and she's known for swearing and getting into trouble, and she has a scar on her throat. She just kind of is I don't want to say a troublemaker, but and the reason she gets by with that so much is because that her family is rumored to be cultists, or at least against the church in some way. But that's the rumor. Not that they're witches, but that they worship Satan secretly. And they're a family of commoners. And she actually lives by Potter Road, which is near a place where they dump all the poor people. And that's actually a business that they do even for the local areas. They take people that they have no name and they dump them out here. That's one of the things that this place makes money off of.
Oh, wow.
Anyways.
Rabbi will be like, "Hey, Helmer, I've seen this trick. You just check your pockets, but I think I like this girl." All right.
She says, uh-oh. my notes. I have all my notes are all digital. So, anyways, she says, Paisley says, old Wilkinson's dog is loose again. I'm trying to get him.
Again, did you have anything to do with that?
No.
That's a yes.
She probably did, yeah. And
good luck, Paisley.
Okay.
You'll get him this time.
Yeah, she runs off. And then there are also like a bunch of farmers that are here as well, and people trading in produce. The town itself, as far as what's being traded here, come on. They're well known for their cabbages and beets, and they harvest lumber because they kind of sit among all in the center of these villages along what used to be this major road that's kind of not as major anymore, but that's why this town has grown though. And so the lumber is provided for both Griff's Bluff and for the villages closer to the river. So cabbages and beets. That's what's on sale.
Cabbages.
Stew.
You could.
Trying to find something just right here. There we go. Sweet. Right up to the farmers. Hello, Mr. Campbell, Mr. Armstrong, Mr. Smith, Mr. Lee, Mr. Houghton, Mr. Pattle. Is that Mr. Anderson? Ah, Mr. Sharp, how are you?
They're like, oh, hello, Helmer. Hello, Helmer. How's your quest, Helmer? Like, and they wink at you, you know. They don't really understand how this paladin business works, like being a church militant, an officer of the sworn to the church militant of the thrice blessed. And they're like, been on any adventures, Helmer? Tell us about it. You know, especially there are a few of them that are just kind of loafing around and they invite you to,
we did go out to fight some goblins, and we were supposed to get a magical sword, which we did retrieve. However, when we handed the sword to its rightful owner, or who we think or thought was its rightful owner, he exploded into a winged demon.
These old men are enraptured by these stories.
He goes
and
on.
they believe it all. They believe all of it, you know, like immediately. One of them is like, oh, goblins, this place, the whole place is going to pot with goblins. Ah, those villages up to the north, they're crazy. You know, I've heard that they're working with the goblins.
So, no, you.
Okay. They say, which cities are these, or towns are these?
Well, particularly Borstead, and well, the lot of them. Boar's Tooth, Loonstein. You know, of course, Loonstein, large city there near the river, but or a village, but and what's this guy's name again?
This guy in particular?
Yeah. You have he beat the end of the list, the last one you named.
Oh, Mr. Anderson. Reggie Anderson.
And Reggie Anderson, okay. Reggie Anderson. Farmer. Okay. He says Damien, the Shirereef, he closed off trade to the northern villages. We don't even let him down here anymore.
So there was Borstead. Yeah, Borstead, Borstooth, and Rune?
Loonstein. Lunstein.
Okay.
All of the locations, I mean, your characters, maybe Edward would know this. Yeah, actually, this would be peculiar to Edward, I think. I think so.
What is?
Well, all of the place names are German, but all of the people are clearly not German, and have vaguely Spanish-sounding names, if anything. If not simply Christian names.
Spanish, you say? I can fix that.
I'll make note of it.
That is to say, Christian names. They're out of character. It's Filipino specifically. So, things like Rolando, Federico, Maria,
Okay. I can find those too.
Yeah. And anyways, he says, yes, and especially, worst of all, is up there at Boar's Tooth. Those people have lost their minds. We used to buy peat from them, and they were always strange folk, making their houses out of those weird stones that just sprouted from the ground, and built their village around it. But here now they've declared themselves independent of the Marcher Lord. And even the church, thrown off all authority and taxes, refused to pay taxes. And
Interesting.
I'd like to say it's just them, but Boar's Tooth, Lundstein, they claim that all sorts of supernatural things happened there. So every village up there, I think that this might be the end times. This might be the return of the war, the prophecy of the Geritect, if you ask me.
Well, what do you know about this? These Shaggyfur goblins?
Oh, well, our good, and he slaps Helmer up. He's short. He slaps Helmer up on the shoulder, and he says, "Our great forces, our holy order militant, they patrol this area, and besides that, we keep a solid guard in this town, especially given how times are. So we don't let goblins interfere with our business here, and there won't be any goblins walking in this street or shopping in this market. I tell you that." And then several people are like, "Yeah," and he's like, "But what'd you ask?"
I wanted to know if you knew anything about them. Where do they come from? Where might they be found?
He says, "Well, they claw themselves out of hell itself, of course. That's where goblins come from. Haven't you ever heard any of the sermons from the oracles, in any of the sacred texts?"
Why, it reminds me of a song I once heard.
Oh,
Yes, I could play it now if you'd like.
someone else is like, "I would love that," and then they get scolded for not working, and then they're like, "No, I want to hear the song," and you're starting to cause a hoopla. No, wait, it's not a hoopla. Let me get my list back.
Hullabaloo.
A ruckus.
The first one would be a hubbub.
It
It starts with a fuss, which you've already caused, but now you're moving into a hubbub. Anyways, these people don't know what that is. But
Okay, so they're engaged in lively business here.
I mean, not really. No, there's nothing urgent going on with life.
I will play a few strains of "See a Goblin Throw a Rock," and we'll be on about our business.
Nice. Yeah, they love it. Some people even dance. One of them, one of the people are like, "You, wait a second," and looks. Actually, I'm gonna roll a die to see if he sees this. I'm gonna see if he can see elf ears on Alara, because he's like, "Two hobbits and a dwarf," and then he kind of looks at Alara, but then doesn't say anything. I assume you're wearing your cloak like in this.
Ah, and a mysterious hooded woman. You must be an elf.
Right.
Ranger, I take it.
You're right. Level 2 at least, with max hit points.
Is that a longbow? Ooh, high dexterity.
I haven't heard Birdie in a while. You with us, Birdie?
Yeah, can you hear us?
Yeah, sorry, my husband just got home and the dog went nuts. So
Okay. Just making sure.
yeah, I'm totally listening and I'm laughing. I'm just yeah. She's finally settled down, but she had to make sure Daddy knew she knew.
Oh my gosh! Every time I have a Chihuahua, you're in here. You cause chaos. Come here. You better. Anyways, yeah, he's just a terror. Anytime anything happens, anybody comes to the door. Yeah. He does not notice that you're an elf, but he looks at you curiously, because in this setting, elves are weird.
Yeah, I figured my character would probably keep her hood up, unless she knew that she was in a setting where she could let her guard down.
You probably intentionally don't elf it up as much as I don't suppose it's in this book actually. I was reading it somewhere. I posted it. What elves do? They prance. They don't walk normally, and they naturally just dance and stuff. That they're real weird. But probably you're intentionally not being real elfy all the time, you know?
Toning down the whimsical.
Yeah. I need to get a 1E players book too, not just a DMG. I don't know where I found that about elves, but anyways, they also look a little bit different. They don't look exactly just human, but he doesn't notice it. But he does notice
their facial structure's a little off, kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, in your eyes and stuff. Yeah, more Ralph Bakshi Legolas and less
almond eyes.
Yeah, exactly. Or Orlando Bloom, is that his name? Less that.
Right. It's a pretty man. All right, so
Just twice I've ruined your night by bringing him up.
no, it's I'm not offended. I'm not offended by it. It just if I let myself go, it'll be. Anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it seems like this place hasn't been affected much by the goblins. What about your outlying farms?
Someone's they say. Actually, let me see here. One of them says, another person that looks kind of sullen. He says, I've got a farm up closer to the river. It's just a ways south of Burstead, and I've lost some cattle. I don't think it's wolves. They were dragged off, not just torn up and eaten.
Yes. Any idea of which direction?
Aye, probably further north, across the Great Bridge, Burstead into the hills. Further up north near the lake.
Time to make for Burstead then.
All right. Let's see. This
How,
is just. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
How far away is Burstead from here? I asked the man. How far away is your farm? I'll ask him.
He looks at your horse and he says, with those horses and that wagon, It would probably be about an hour and a half.
Thank you, good sir. I'll toss him a silver.
He grimaces, realizing he's the recipient of charity. He hates it, but he still takes it. All right, so you've only been here a matter of moments. Went to the marketplace, talked to people, and gathered rumors. Are you headed on to Burstead? Is there anything else you want to do in...
Is there anything else we need to do? Ben, do you have a bow of your own yet?
Yeah, that might be handy instead of throwing rocks.
If they sell bows here, we might want to...
Get this man a longbow.
I will check, but I doubt it. I doubt this place has a lawyer. That you would be able to get that in Griff's Bluff. I think. I don't know if I'm... If I said there... Sometimes I get my games mixed up because my other game has a whole crisis about having arrows, and it's like a thing. There is a lawyer in Griff's Bluff, but I'm just looking real quick here. A barber, abbey, agora, meat market, churchyard, the city command post. You realize this place is a good percentage of people have been pressed into the city's watch. There's a whole business here about being able to bury people. Like that's like taking care of the dead is a big part of Western Ale and their culture, and they're really religious. And I'm sorry, I don't see a bull here.
All right. Well, any other basic supplies we need to grab? I don't think so.
Oh, I think we're good.
Other than food or medical supplies, I think we would be fine.
You could easily find food at the market. It would be fresh food. It would not be iron rations. Which lasts for 7 days. Anyway, so. Alright. And you can do it at book price if you want.
With no further objection, we move on.
Okay.
Forwards.
So, what is our goal? We're gonna find some goblins and kill them?
The goal is to eradicate the furry. What are these furries?
The Shaggyfur.
Okay.
Right.
Eradicate furries, I think, is the goal.
Okay.
Are there any...
One bonus we have... Sorry.
Yes.
I was going to say, one bonus we had if they've been dragging off cattle is they're probably not doing that much to hide their trail, which should make tracing them very easy.
Yes.
Alright. Well, it's only... he's wrong, and as you bolt with keeping the river to your right, it is not hard at all for you to find the hamlet of Burstead. It is a smaller community. Now, let me make sure I don't have this. You actually have to cross, although you can see it from there. You have to cross a river, a small river that feeds into the long river, and there's this large grand bridge, stone, massive thing that was built a long time ago. But you're able to gallop across it, and you can even see the stacks, the faint trails of a road. These roads used to honeycomb their way across the countryside in times when this place was more well off. Borstad is a little hamlet, and let's see, let me make sure I don't have this wrong, because it has, and actually I have it wrong here. This would have taken 2 hours, as you go straight to where he said his farm was, see the bridge, and then see Borstad. Gorstad sits at the base of some hills that you can see on the opposite side of the town. There's no wall here other than property markers. Town square. Let's see. One main road that goes in between all the different main buildings in town. Some sort of memorial or holy site that you can see near the center of town. In fact, more than one of them. People out working and people working in gardens nearby and farms further away than that at the base of the nearby hillsides. This place has a lot of sheep that you can see occupying the fields on the near side of the hills.
Okay. Is there a so this place is also not looking ravaged.
It looks like this place is a little bit further removed from the politics of Griff's Bluff. It is not well guarded as much. There is a. It looks like these are shepherds, primarily, and then miners that work the nearby hills. Although a lot of people don't seem to be working, and there's a big bustling pub with all sorts of people being drunk in the middle of the day.
Now, does everything, like on our way here and then around the town, does everything look normal? Or, like, is there any telltale signs that some of the things are off or cursed like we saw in the one major city?
Right. Let's see. From where you are, you don't see any signs. It doesn't look like there are signs of, like, open warfare. You know, and it certainly doesn't look like Bray Mill. I think, is that the one you're talking about where you met with the...
Well, I'm talking about not just warfare, but like the rotting trees or things that looked off, like the curse was spreading or was affecting the area. Because I know we ran into some weird things in there. So I was just curious if we had any around.
I think... make a 1 to 2 on a d6 roll. I feel like this is a skill that you as an elven ranger would know. If you got a 1, okay. You can tell that this place is in for a very hard winter. You can tell as you pass in the countryside, and at points, I think even Squints notes, doesn't look like the crops are coming in too good this year. Looks like they're going to have a tough winter in this place. And, yeah. It does look... It's also strange that there are so many people not working. And that are here drinking in town instead. You noticed also in the marketplace that the produce was not especially good. It does seem like maybe it is possible, you could infer that there might be some kind of blight.
Well, let's head over to that pub.
Okay.
And see what we can find out.
Yeah, that's good thinking. Investigating, that's it. Right.
It's a great place to start.
Okay. A packed. First of all, you can smell near the city center that they are selling some of the meats from the sheep. That there's meat shops, and you can smell the meat and the baking bread, which sort of leads you to know, and that and all the raucous noise, that there's some sort of tavern. And as you round a corner, there's a side street where you find the entrance. The road here says Taylor Boulevard, and down a windy, narrow, kind of rocky, partially grass road among the buildings here. There's the entrance to this pub. It says The Ignorant Toad, and it has a frog with a question mark above its head. And a lot of people are here drinking instead of working today.
Perhaps it's a holiday of some sort.
It's a shabby, long pub with a thatched roof, and it seems, nonetheless, to have two as narrow as it is, has two floors. You said you go inside?
Absolutely.
Okay. It's decorated and appointed in such a way that it keeps as much of the center of the pub as spacious as possible, and has oddly beautiful mahogany stairs that go up into the next floor. That's and it's the finest thing in here. People are in here drinking, and there's a head of a hawk that's stuffed and mounted above the bar. There's a lot of people in here. A barmaid is happily walking back and forth, taking plates and orders.
We may as well get a table.
All right. Let's see. She comes by and she says, "Hello, what can I get for you?"
Oh, just some of your refreshing midday beer, please.
Oh. All right. Well, I could do that. It'd just be just two copper pennies, please, per person. That gives you an idea of probably what you're about to get.
I glance over at Helmer.
He frowns. He frowns and does that. Closed eyes, scrunched face, head shake. Like, no, don't do it.
It would only be polite. We're going to stick around and ask for information.
I mean, I'll take yours if you don't want it.
Yeah. I will take a gold piece out and say, when you have a moment, if we could just have a word.
She looks at the gold piece, drops the tray, stops working, and pulls up immediately and takes the gold piece. She's like, "You can have as many words as you'd like, sir. Name's the name's Ilaria. Ilaria Hill." And she like enthusiastically shakes your hand and everybody else's hand. She's a short, kind of a slightly chunky woman, but otherwise young, and she has a scar across her cheek. It's clear that Ilaria has lived a life of hard work and manual labor, and she.
What can you tell us about the goblin raids of late.
I see. Look, you're not here from Rebik, are you? Because despite what they say about us, we're not traders here.
We're not here from Rebik, no.
If I wasn't in your establishment, I would spit at the name.
That's right. Good. All right. Well, if you forgive me, I'll answer your questions, but I would like to know who you work for.
We are aldermen of Brandonsford.
Brandonsford? What is that? And then
To the north.
Yeah, Knob is sitting right there, and he's drinking. By the way, this stuff is swill. And what you have to do in order to drink it, let's say she brings you back these drinks because you paid for it. It stings the mouth and the nostrils in a bad way. And you just kind of have to get past that, and then you can kind of drink it. So that's kind of how the process of drinking this works. She brings some cheese, which is this like weird rubbery porous cheese that has fruit in it. And anyways, she has that for the table. And she says, right, well, the sheep keep going missing. I suppose that... Oh, sorry. Elderman of Brandonsford. And Knob is like... he says, you haven't heard of Brandonsford? Well, I suppose we never really did trade much with the people here. And then she like has to look over the table because she's short too, so she has to like raise up and look down to see Knob because Knob's little, and she's like, "Oh, there's little people." And then slightly less little people, and nods toward Tharnlin, and he just like glares at her.
Yes. We're from many places, to be quite truthful. At the moment, though, we wish to gain the favor of the Baron. And so we heard there's a problem with goblins. We aim to solve the problem.
Baron Edric Hillsborough.
Yes.
Well,
That's the man.
I don't mean to say anything cross, sir, but since you're not from Griff's Vale, or Griff's Bluff, and you're from some other place, I will tell you that I have no ill will toward the man, but it does seem like they care very little for their towns and out of character. What do you call a village that pays taxes to a larger polity?
Is that like a serfdom or?
Yeah,
What?
What? Well, what is it called? The smaller town that has to pay to the bigger
Hamlet.
town?
Well, Hamlet.
Yeah. Well, anyways,
A vassal or
a vassal. Yeah, that's actually
Fiefdom.
Yeah. It seems like they don't care too much for their vassal states here in the Vale. We all kind of just need to get on our own most of the time. But now Westernell doesn't take trade with us. And then there's those awfully strange people further north. Our best bet is to try to work with Lundstein as best we can. Now, mind you, I'm no traitor, and we're not traitors around here, and we're not be turning to Rebik.
Well, what might cause the suspicion coming from the people of Westernell over yonder?
Well, first of all, Lundstein is a larger town, and they've said all sorts of strange, superstitious things about skeletons and whatnot marching in the night and building things and such, and they're real strange about it, and they don't let anybody see it, but people have left there and talked about it, and it's all very spooky, but I know I have kin in Lundstein, and they're not bad people. Skeletons are not. And anyways, I don't know. I suppose it's just all the suspicion. They say there's Rebik spies, and they roam the countryside and sometimes come into towns and try to turn people against the the Marcher Lord and the church. Well, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was say, it seems strange that they would reach so far out here. I mean, very strange.
Well, I have heard that I've heard people talk about groups of people out in the countryside roaming about, and people have seen them. So there's definitely people doing things far afield of Griff's Bluff, and you're right, it is a strange thing. But, you know, some people say that the prophecy's coming true soon, and that the end times is coming. And I've not seen a goblin, sir, but the sheep, they're disappearing. And this community, it won't survive the winter. We'll have to leave. We have to hope that those spooky skeleton people in Moonstein will take us in. Because without our sheep, we'll not survive. They say that, you know, they have to feed into the hills, and the shepherds are saying that the sheepdogs refuse to go into the hills.
Okay, the hills. Which direction are the hills?
Oh, they're just right there. And as you came into Orsted, like I was saying, right, you have kind of like this area just north of that, and then hills, you know, and it kind of is nestled on these, at the foot of these hills.
Okay. Seems like that might be where we need to go.
All right, it's currently about afternoonish.
Took us 2 hours to get here, so... Alright, shall we attack the hills in the morning, or go out into the wilderness this afternoon and camp? We don't even know if this town has accommodation. Do you have rooms here?
She smiles a not entirely tooth-filled mouth smile and says, "You've got rooms here for a gold piece. This is an entire day's work right here. You've got rooms. It's all taken care of, and you'll have our finest food." And she motions toward the cheese that's got fruit plugged into it.
Right. Who could ask for better?
Helmer just kind of sinks into his seat.
She does actually bring out more basic food and feeds you all. There's actually a pretty good stew made with chilies and spices, and porridges, and then some kind of more hearty basic fare like breads and potatoes and stuff. So you have hearty, simple, decent food here as well. The drinks are horrible, and the rooms are like a straw.
Why is the beer so bad?
Beer would be from wheat, would it not?
Yeah, do you ask her that?
Have you had trouble with your barley or your wheat recently?
Aye, sir. We don't. Well, hold on. Let me check. I'm pretty sure. No, I remember for Bursted. We trade for wheat and barley to grow our beers, and well, it's been a really bad crop this year, sir. It's not been a good year.
What a shame. Seems we hear the same news all over.
I suppose what the church teaches is true. She goes and keeps working.
Edward's character should start getting like a oh goodness, was it I'm sorry, I can't remember the word, but like people just hear about him because he's gonna bring up the beer wherever he goes. Yeah.
He's gonna complain about the beer.
Yeah.
Oh,
What is wrong
beer
with
snob
it?
with the loots and coming
Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
Need to make
Reputation that's the word I'm trying to think of.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and. Are you all okay with staying the night here then?
Well,
It seems better than camping in the hills, especially since things been going on.
Yeah, unless that's. I mean, we got to investigate the hills, so let's. It might
Better-
take a full day.
Yeah, better to do so in good light.
Yeah.
Elmer mutters, I'm not too sure about that.
I know, my friend, but such are the sacrifices.
Just got rid
Been
of my
sitting here
food.
and drinking the beer.
Trick is if you drink enough of it, you don't. Well, nope, you still notice it's terrible.
We're sure a lot of dice flying all over the place. Does anybody notice that?
So what's going on here?
So you, I don't want this many Tweety birds. It's supposed to be. Oh, it's the wrong one. I want nighttime. There we go. Let's do a nice
Random encounter.
town
Birds
at night
flying.
encounter here.
Now I'm picturing Tweety Bird flying around a tavern.
Okay, so you all have not the best rooms, but I think the only person that could notice this is Ben and Alara. You can attempt to make a D6 check. Alara would notice on a 2 in 6 chance, and Ben would notice on a 1. Okay, so you got a 1.
Axis
And a
rolled a 1.
Somebody else got a 1 too. You both got 1s. You notice that someone seems like they're trying to come in the window. You think it may be a nightmare, but you wake up, and then the figure sees you, dashes away, because they know that they're caught. Someone had attempted to try to make
Run
it in
over to the window real quick to look out.
Drum. Right.
You see a cloaked figure disappear into the darkness.
Your old friend.
Did it look like it could have been my my unfortunate nemesis? I never did give her 50 gold back or whatever.
In the darkness, all you saw was cloaks. A cloak.
Gotcha. A cloak, not multiples.
50 platinum.
That was it. It was platinum, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
The sun rises the next day, and it is another beautiful fall day.
Okay, off we go. Let's check the wagon.
Ah, yes. Let me do check for that. Second. Everything's there.
All right.
Head off into the hills.
Yes, let us launch off. I have to take my dog out. She's barking up a storm. So, swing my sword if need be.
All
And
right.
Ben can borrow my bow.
We are now in an
It's
area.
I think we're in a long-term loan situation. With this.
We're now in an area that is less familiar to you all. Since he had to step away, Alara, roll a d6. Since you're an elven ranger, this will succeed on a 1 to a 2.
Nope.
Or no, I'm sorry. It would fail on a 1 to a 2.
Oh. Okay, well, I got a 4, so.
Good. Okay, so you're able to clearly spot the hills, and you make a way. You plot a course into a draw within 2 of the hills, out north of the village, and you now need to search the area if you're going to try to find things. You have gathered some rumors, heard some things, so someone needs to make a... Well, actually, this would be Alara as well. So, Alara, you already have 2 and 6, and then you gathered 2 different bits of information. So, I will say that you succeed on this on a 4 and 6. This is you all searching out among the hills for something.
3.
Okay, yeah. So, you find... and then roll another d6. I know it sounds crazy, but this is for something else.
Oh no.
I think yeah, that's a bad thing. Oh, that's interesting. You surprise each other. You're trying to search, and then one of you like falls. Probably. You take the wagon and the mule into the hills. You probably leave it at the stables, right? I don't know.
Yeah, we're searching for danger, right? Do we don't want to take?
Yeah.
And these hills are not very far away, so do you want to bring your horses?
I'm not sure we should bring our horses. What do you guys think?
I'm kind of thinking. I mean, we need to. This is kind of an investigation thing. I don't know. Like if we can find any shepherds or something, it'd be kind of a starting point, maybe. But I don't know. I was worried horses might be a liability if we actually.
Mm-hmm. Especially considered larger animals keep being stolen for food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Shepherds
no horses,
would be a
no
good
mules.
starting point.
So, pretty good call because one of you, I'll say it's probably Knob, like falls down the side of a hill into a rocky depression, and there is the cave of a mouth, and 2 goblins standing there looking at him, and he looks at them, and they look at him, and he looks at them, and he's like, hello. And they seem to be guarding the entrance to this cave. And on a 9, they're just going to run away and run inside the cave and alert everyone. What do you do?
Oh, lovely.
We gotta stop them, right?
Are we above the cave?
Yeah.
Let's roll a rock in front of it. It's just like cave in the entrance, like right away, and it's just
like shove a
job well done.
boulder on top of it and
All right.
up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say. So here's the bargain. So the good news is that could instantly keep them from running in, right? The bad news is I'm gonna say that this is definitely not guaranteed and is difficult. So it requires 2 checks. It's gonna require a task change. The first thing is you have to succeed on initiative, because if they beat you, it's not gonna matter. The second thing is you'll have to succeed on a check, and anybody can make it 1 time for a strength check.
Okay.
All right, here we go. D6 Alara. That's good. Oh, no, you won. House wins for that house roll. I'm sorry I haven't updated that document. I will do that someday. Okay, so you all won the initiative, so one of you make a strength check. And if you pass, then yeah, you manage to just kick enough stuff down in front of them to where maybe they could get over it, but it's going to delay them.
Okay, I got a 14.
Does anyone have a good strength stat?
Mine's 14. I'll rock that out with a D20. Drum roll.
Oof.
Yeah.
Really?
Does it not make it?
No, one point above.
No.
Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah. All
It had to
right.
be under.
Yeah.
Can I use some of my luck?
Yeah.
I know I've been playing too much DCC. Let's burn some luck. Oh wait.
We got 2 halflings in our group. We should.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. This game would just be
It's the beer.
combat constantly and stuff if it were DCC though.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So you dash over there, but you don't find anything. That you try to move something, but it gets lodged, and you don't find anything that you could use for this. That being said, you still have initiative. You've used your turn. Anyone else can still act.
I did borrow that bow. I mean,
We
That's
both
all I
have a
got.
bow. We could try to take him
yeah,
out.
let's take a shot. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the best. Like, hold on, wait up, don't make me shoot. And they keep running, I assume, so I'll shoot.
Oh yeah.
Let's see.
Oh,
I'm back just in time.
Yeah. Let's see here. I'm gonna
things
put
went
some.
real south.
Oh my gosh. I just need to take the time to fix that because every time.
Wait, a small mountain village. Such peaceful music.
There's no goblets.
Yeah, it's not
here.
peaceful. We just tried to cork up a goblin hole with a boulder and it didn't work.
Okay, there's a knob.
So am I trying to roll under my dexterity or?
So that is the biggest weakness of this system is it has what I would call diverse dice mechanics. So it has two major dice, the D20 and the D6. The D6 is for like skills, and then the D20 is like primal attribute attack stuff. Anytime, and then the other thing is that sometimes you roll low, sometimes you have to roll high. And this is kind of how I think of it. If it's you trying to do something within yourself, like if you're trying to lift a boulder, then you want to roll low, like find it within yourself to do it. But if you're trying to push someone over, you want to roll high because you want to overcome them. That's how I think of it. I don't know. So for an attack, you want to roll high because you want to beat the other person.
Those look like pretty good rolls.
I got a 15 for 3 damage, I assume.
How did you do it with the attack?
So I had to go. It took me a while because I only just figured this out like last game or so. I had to put a bow in my inventory under weapons, and there's a place to change it to a missile weapon. But I only just figured out how to do all that pretty recently. So usually I've just been rolling a d20.
I just got
Yeah.
macros.
All right, I'm sorry. So what are we facing?
Goblins.
So
Two
Knob
goblin
fell in
scouts.
Goblin
fell in a
scouts.
hole right in front of the goblin cave. 2 goblins saw him and started to flee into the cave.
So a dex of 16, is that +2 or +3?
That's +2.
Okay, so I didn't quite hit it. Or, yeah. I have a dex of 16. So, and I rolled a 15. Or no, that was what Ben rolled. I got a 13.
Yeah, 13.
You got a
right?
13.
Plus your dexterity, so that would be a 15 if you have a +2.
You got +2 to your armor class as well.
Let's see if this actually works.
Is 16 a +2? And
I'm just trying
I guess
to
it
look
would
it
be.
up.
Yeah, +2.
I still need to get an OSE buck. I don't have one yet.
Oh, it's so worth it.
it's a very nice book.
This is so great.
I'm saving up for one, but
I pledged for that sword and wizardry. You know, the
Oh really? Yeah, before it
Yeah.
ended.
the traditional printing option.
Nice.
Okay, I thought this would. Okay.
I'm kind of expecting it to be my go-to game when it comes to D&D for a while to come.
It has simulated the AD&D 1978 Melu better than I could have ever imagined. It's really interesting.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, like if that's what you're wanting, right? Which is not.
Okay.
Yeah.
To me, I because I never played first. Anyway, we're on a tangent. We can talk about that after.
No, okay.
Another divergence, but yeah.
So Knob hits for 3 damage. Bam, hits him. And then let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and roll for my other hobbit here.
Don't forget Ben hit for 3 as well.
Okay. Well, that kills this this goblin right out the gate. This other attack fails.
And what about Birdie's attack?
And then I'm also going to. I'm just fixing all the NPCs. And also fails. Okay, and then Birdie, what did you get, Birdie?
I got a 13 plus a dex of 2, so...
So 15, another hit.
That hits. And how much damage?
Oh, that's a D... What is that?
D6.
Yeah, D6.
Is it a short bow or a long bow?
Nice.
It's a longbow.
They do the same damage?
They do. It's just longbow shoots
Just
further.
about range. Okay.
So, Helmer came over here and tried to push this boulder off of, over onto these goblins. I hope this abstraction style combat like Final Fantasy is okay.
It's fine.
Thank you. And then he failed to do that, but you are able to act really quickly, and you just loose arrows, and people charge, and you just hew down these goblins. These 2 goblins were clearly guarding the entrance to a cave.
Let's see what they got on them, if anything.
Yeah, let's just drag them away from the cave entrance, just so in case there's any more in there, maybe get out of sight and loot the bodies.
How
Okay.
big is the entrance to the cave?
It's taller than human sized, 7 feet tall, maybe. So not just a little bit above your head, and maybe 7 feet wide at the entrance.
Okay.
Standing near the...
Well,
Oh, sorry.
So the
Go ahead.
wagons, the horses and the wagons can't go in.
We didn't bring them.
Okay. They stayed back at the village?
Yeah.
And if
yeah,
you
we
if
sent
you
word to that guy so he could come take care of them.
Okay.
If I stand near the entrance and listen, do I hear anything from the cave? Voices or noises or anything?
yeah, make a listen at door check.
Oh, that's a good idea.
But
There's no door.
Oh!
nice.
The game
Um,
explodes.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
And I do speak goblins, so that's a perk.
Ooh.
That is good to know.
Give me a second.
Homer's gonna look around for wolf prints as well.
Yeah. If the dogs won't go into the hills, that's...
Treasure. You find what a weird thing. Okay. You find that they have stolen some stuff. And you find 4 gold pieces and 5 silver pieces.
Swag. All right.
Nice.
And then, I'm sorry, let's see. You were listening into the cave. You can hear an active cave system. It sounds like it has other entrances and exits and running water. And what you don't hear is significant. You don't hear a bunch of goblins. So these goblins are guarding something, but whatever it is, it's not right there. It's not like 20 feet inside.
All right.
Okay.
Sword and shield at the ready.
Okay, I'll have a torch out and right sort of shoulder to shoulder slash a step behind. Not slash, a step behind. Elmer.
Just right a little.
just over here. I'll be just here.
Just a little bit.
I say I'm
Ooh.
listening. Lara's listening really closely for any goblin voices or any sounds that sound like movement.
Okay.
So I guess we're doing our best to move quietly.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lara can
Or
see
Helmer in his
in the
full
dark
plate.
with like
Link.
predator vision.
Yeah.
Where's she? It's weird. Let me add Alara.
Maybe, and I don't want to put you at risk unnecessarily, but perhaps, Alara, it would be best if you went forward several dozen feet as quietly as possible. Do your best not to get into any trouble without us.
Kind of as a scout, so that the whole party isn't immediately in jeopardy. And I can run faster than the hobbits.
All right, Alara, you travel ahead for some ways. Roll another d6.
Okay. Yeah.
This one's really crucial. Don't roll a 1. You rolled a 1.
I found a 1.
You hear, you hear goblins, and you speak Goblin, and they're saying, there's an intruder. What do we do? And the other one's like, Kravdok, I don't know. What do we do? We didn't talk about this. And the other one's like, we should run away. We should run away right now and let everybody else know. And that's what's going on in the dark. And they see you. And there are 2 other goblins guarding a door. And you can see past them is not cavern. That's covered with a door, but rather some ancient structure, part of which has been jagged and fallen off, and there's like bits of debris and stuff, and then it kind of leads partially into a hallway and then a door and a wall. Some sunken structure lay here in this cave.
So there's 4 of them?
There's 2 of them.
Can we hear this sudden burst of goblin voice?
Yeah.
I'm gonna draw my sword.
Okay.
And
Yep.
let's
Wait,
abandon.
Wait, hold on, Birdie. What were you saying? I'm sorry, you were saying something.
I was going to ask, am I allowed to take initiative and try to take out one of the goblins with a bow to try to keep them from alerting everybody while I'm waiting?
Yeah. The whole group would do it. Yeah, and you could try to do the same thing, see if you can take them out quickly. You could do that.
Yeah, no. I hit a wall.
It's a d6. You roll a d6.
Oh, a d6. Okay. There we go.
Oh, no. Did you get a 1? Oh, no.
Yeah.
Okay, they're able to act first.
No, they're digital, but you need new dice.
I'm going to go back to my friends in my box. They are nicer.
They run in the door, and then they close it, and you hear a slamming, clanging noise on the other side of the door.
Ooh. They don't know we have a thief.
Yeah. Depends on what that clang was. If it was just a bar, I don't know if I can lock that. If this is...
Sure you can.
Is anyone
Let's go
wearing
try
heavy armor?
Yeah.
Okay. So you move
Homer.
60 feet. Alright, and so far you've moved 30.
Well, yeah, let's advance up to where.
Yeah, let's go
Already
check out
was.
that door.
Yep.
As I go.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it looks like a heavy, old. This is a wood so ancient and heavy it could be the ballast of a big galleon or battleship or something. This is a sturdy, heavy, ancient wood, and with iron across it as well, and it is locked.
Is there a discernible lock that I could try and pick? I mean, that's not going to be quick, so I don't know how helpful. Yeah, I mean, they're still going to get away, I assume, because it takes a little bit of time to try and pick a lock, but I can try it.
Yeah, you can do it. So I'll give you some options. You're confident that you could pick the lock. I'm gonna array some options for you. One is that you could make a lot of noise and destroy your thieves' tools, and you will simply get the lock open. A second option is you could make a lot of noise and do a dexterity check. A third option is you could do your pick lock check. And each time you do this, it will take a round.
Let's see. Open locks is only a 30% chance of success.
We could kick it.
Yeah, it's pretty sturdy. I'm not that strong.
A fourth option is that someone, as part of the round, could attempt a force door check, and you could do a dexterity check, but it's going to make a ton of noise, and it will.
Well, see how the lockpicking goes.
I can try the lockpick. We'll
Well,
see how it goes.
do we care about noise at this point? They know somebody's here, and they're making noise themselves.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more just the fastest way to get through there, but if I don't know that I want to break my lockpicks. Fastest way to try and open it without busting my lockpicks.
Let's try the force door option, if that's okay with everybody.
All right. So
Knock, knock. Who's there? It's Helmer's foot.
you just have to do one of these. You just have to pass one of these checks.
Well, what was that 3?
That was, yeah, what's my strength here? Strength is 14. My door kicking powers. Ah, got an open door.
All right. You by jimmying the lock, and then Helmer just drop kicking the door. You basically bust the ancient mechanism apart and shatter it. It rings loudly in the dark. And let's see here. I gotta.
After them.
So it's a siege then.
Picturing Helmer kind of standing up and holding his head. Oh. Why don't you use your feet? Feet?
Looking for.
I guess we know why they call you Helmer.
There should be like a dent in the helmet. That would explain the lazy eye.
Oof. Why is there more than one now? Let's see here.
Oh,
Dwarf.
more than... Oh.
Sorry, it's going to take me a second to load this. And then hopefully everybody will be able to see their token too. And then, Edward, you said that you have a torch, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let me give you a torch. As you go inside, the sounds of dripping water end as you enter some ancient structure. You see around you a room about... let me make sure I have this right. I think I measured this. Huh. Maybe it's a little off. So 10 feet by... This is wrong. Each of these is 5 feet. So it's about 15 feet by 20 feet. And there is a door to the north and stairs that lead further down to the south.
We came in from the right, the east.
Whoa. You came in from here, these stairs right here. And
Okay, so when we busted the door, where's the door we just busted?
it's above these stairs.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to go ahead and roll. And that I'll also do for the distance. Okay. And that's what you see. It is the air here is old, but the walls, the structure is incredibly well made. Tharnwin says as much. He says, "Whoever made this was incredible with stonework."
Well, Elmer, Garnlin, Alara? Is it Alara?
Hmm.
Which way?
Yonder.
Make you all smaller.
Now,
so
does
it's
it look
easier to-
now? How long is it? I mean, we bust down that door, and it was a couple of rounds, I think, right? Or was it one round? How long has it been since they made their way off through that door?
So let's see. That would have been. So it was just a one round, but then it made noise. So
Yeah.
and these times are
That's it.
abstractions. So it's been recently. And
Okay. Well, then
actually-
we
Is
need
this
to.
the door?
Do we got
No,
any
the door is
sense
to
of
the
like
east.
where they ran?
Okay.
Does this door seem like
Well, let's just
Like, do we
listen.
hear
I mean,
anything?
if they're
Did
running,
we hear
yeah,
skittering or
So-
voices or
panicked shouting of any kind.
is the echo of that door being slammed behind him? Anything like that?
From where you are, you don't hear anything.
Can you, Laura? Can you try that listening
test?
trick again, please?
Yeah, can I?
No.
One and three
I
for
think I
thief
needed
listening.
a 1 and 2.
1 and 3 for thieves. That's awesome.
At fourth level thief, I'm at 1 and 3 for hear noises.
Oh yeah, we should have Ben here.
Nice.
Listen.
Well, we're okay. So you're hearing noises. Okay. I'm can we have a look at that door just real quick?
Oop, but I didn't hear anything.
This door appears to be made similarly to the previous door. Very finely constructed. When you look at the door, it doesn't appear to be locked.
Okay. Let's check down here. Check down to the south.
Okay.
Okay, Elmer will.
Let's see. Alara, you can see a corridor ahead kind of snaking its way off into the distance. Let me switch to you. Oh, and let me make sure you have infravision. Vision. Oh, yeah, you have dark vision. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
That's kind of why I went in front so that I could see if there's.
You can see that the.
Not that they don't know we're coming, but.
Yeah, you can see the corridor going right and left and then snaking its way off into the distance.
Onward.
And I'm going to measure this. Let's see.
Should we do another listen check since it splits?
Yep.
Elmer will also listen.
All right.
Does everyone get a chance to
No.
listen?
Yeah, technically everybody could roll listen. Yeah.
I'm going to say it has to be whoever's actually here, because I assume you're trying to, like,
Oh.
you know, unless you're, like, just going out into this corridor. Like, if you're just...
Yeah, I mean, so it's me and Alara then. I rolled a 1.
Okay.
I failed mine.
Let's see. You listen ahead, and let me see here. Don't worry about this.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
It sounds completely silent back here. Eerily silent.
You could just hear Elmer's loud nasal breathing.
Oh, it could be. It could also be an ambush.
Right or left?
Let's turn left, by which I mean let's go east.
Okay, let's see. Alara, when you go down this corridor to your left, it switches back, and then you have a long corridor going to your left and right. And you can tell that it switches back to your left over here. And I need to make sure that I'm not mixing this up with Dungeon Crawl Classics. This is a bit of a
Yes,
problem for me.
Whichever one would be in our favor, we'll go with that.
Right.
OSC is in our favor.
There's advantages and disadvantages.
There's no stunt dice.
All right,
in
and then
OSC.
But one has Patrick, so I mean,
you see a mural along this wall of what looks like fish, and there are these fish that are like dancing and kind of they do that Ouroboros, is that, or whatever thing, where they kind of like turn in, or yin yang kind of thing, and then you have these other fish that are like sitting and talking to each other that are in between those, except it's defaced here, and it's missing. Then it switches back to the left here. The murals end along this wall, and then it kind of switches here. Squints tells you, well, you would have seen this as well, Laura, that back here there are stairs that go down. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, let's all gather up here.
Now, would Helmer, since he's a dwarf, would he be able to make anything of these
Carlone
murals?
is
Would they
the
mean
dwarf.
anything to him?
Or
not Helmer. Who's the dwarf?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's
Is
fine.
there
Yeah.
any?
Sorry.
Yeah, so Tharnlin, he
Tharnlin.
when you ask him that, he says, well, I can see that this place is very well made. The stonework, I think that was added in later, the murals. I don't think that it's carved from the stone.
Is there any text on the mural? Just realize at 4th level, I can read non-magical text in any language,
Nice.
including dead languages and basic codes with 80% probability.
cool.
You go ahead and roll that 80%. I know that like I'm supposed to roll it, but like I think it'd be fun if you did, you know, because it's a cool ability.
Come here. That's annoying. Well, okay. Let's do it this way.
I also need my list of languages for this.
Okay.
Did you pass?
I did.
Um,
47.
Since leaving Perenval, you have spent time trying to learn about strange things ever since Shay has left. This, I'm looking for the language. It's in serpent tongue. Tongue of serpents. Tharnlin, as you see this, you can see that one thing that stands out to you, a lot of things are just like, it's like a poem, a poetic verse of like fish activities, but you make out that this is called the Abbey of the Abbey of the Frozen Life.
Okay.
And Tharnlin says, if I had to guess, I would say that this temple is probably... He smells the stone, talks to it a little bit. It's probably 800 years old at least. But those murals, they're old, but they're not as old as this temple. Not as old as the stone.
Okay.
Any Abbey the Frozen Life ring a bell to anybody from around here?
Helmer, it definitely would not ring a bell. Now, Alara, you are several hundred years old, probably. You would probably know what's going on here. And I don't think you would need to roll for it. You harbor a bit of a secret, and I don't know if I want to tell everyone. I think I'll send it to you later if you remind me, and then you can decide if you want to share it or not. But there are things that the elves don't tell the humans here.
Well, also I've been studying in serpent folk, maybe. Just a guess. Studying them esoteric languages.
And let's see, that makes it... Um, 20, 30, 40 minutes have passed in dungeon time.
Okay. Let's go back left.
Okay. I'm going to pan the camera just to where you all are at. Yeah, it snakes around the corner into another room.
No puns intended. Do we notice any unusual sounds or smells, or is it still dead quiet and just earthy?
Yeah, and not, I wouldn't even say earthy at this point. I would say like that smell of that acrid smell of stone, you know. And then like dead stale air that you almost have to. You're not getting it. You have air hunger, and the torch that Edward has lit is fluttering like it's struggling to stay lit, just because the air is so old and stale and there's not a lot of air. But this room, it's clear that the stairs go back up and loop back around there, and whatever was once in this room is now barren, except for an old ruined cushion and a crate bound with what appears to be steel, and there is a lock. Ooh, there's a lock on the crate. Which forms the shape of a fish.
Helmer looks excitedly at Ben.
So ice stuff and fish. Okay, well, so it looks like the goblins have ransacked this but left this behind, so I definitely want to check it for traps before I start trying to pop it open. Just a little paranoid.
Right, that'll take a round. What is everyone else doing while he does that?
Helmer's gonna listen here.
Okay, yeah, you could make a listen. Let me make that check, actually. Oh,
okay.
That's fine.
Yeah,
no,
that's
fine.
reasonable.
Yeah.
So,
find or remove locks is only a 25% chance. I don't know if you want to make that one too.
Yeah, I'll do that. All right, and then what is everybody else doing?
Probably on guard and listening.
Yeah, I'm staying put where I'm at.
All right. Yeah, that is worth doing because, what I'm going to rule on that is that you can't guard everything. So like what you can kind of like avenues of approach, like I guess we call it, like like you could guard this hall and you'd say I guard this way, and then what that will do is it will, unless there's a special ability, it will prevent you from being surprised, which, as you know, is a huge deal. So that's always a good option. And they'll help in this, Darnlin. So this way you basically, and they'll even check the ceilings, which the ceiling's about 15 feet above you. What was I going to say? You do not seem to see any traps on this. You can also make a wisdom attribute check.
Let's try that. Well, that's a success.
There's something strange about the entrance of this lock, but you can't see, so you would need like torchlight to be directly over it to be able to look at it.
I'll come over.
I was like, Edward, could you help me get a better, closer look at this?
When you shine the torch over the entrance to the lock, you can see that the mechanism inside is extremely complex. You would probably shatter your tools if you had tried to actually use them.
Ooh.
There's some sort of really strange key that or keys or something that activates all these mechanisms. It's not like any lock you've ever seen. Bless you.
Thank you. I think this lock is going to be beyond me. But
Okay.
Homer, you don't hear
if it's
anything.
fancy enough, maybe we can find this. I mean, it's clearly this lock seems somehow related to this area. It's not just a chest that the goblins dropped in here, right?
Yeah, this
It doesn't
definitely does
seem
not look
goblin made.
right.
So hopefully that means we can find a key somewhere. It seems if it's associated with this heavy enough,
You
that
said
means
that
somewhere.
shape of it, that the shape of the lock itself was like the fish.
Yeah, it looks like the shape forms the shape of like a fish, with gills and little fins and everything, and that would be like the head of the hypothetically a key, but inside the mechanisms are incredibly complex.
Okay. And how big is this crate?
It is almost person sized. It's really big.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And bound with
Okay.
steel.
Pretty. There's
It's
a
not
reason the
something we're
goblins
carrying with
left
us.
it.
It's almost like everything was like taken out of here except for this one thing, and it looks like everything was taken in a hurry. But this is definitely not made by goblins.
All right. Let's leave it for now.
Yeah, hopefully we can come back here if we can find a key. But it's big enough. Hopefully that means goblins won't take it while we're gone, right?
Yep, let's move on. Actually, yeah, we should see what's here. I'm tempted to just say forget this part and go through the door. I think they went through the door.
Yeah, it's quiet down here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I can't.
Is this
I mean,
a back way potentially in though? Because if there's another way around that door, that seems.
This probably is the back way, and that's probably why they are panicking. But we don't know the front way.
If they didn't go this way, they're long gone.
Right. Well, but they're not long gone. If this is the back way, then we're talking about their base.
Oh.
or they could just be setting up an ambush.
That's almost certainly what they're doing.
In the
In which
If we
case,
stop and listen again?
it actually behooves us to not move too quickly since we've let so much time pass. We can afford to take our time, I think, at this point.
Yeah, so like maybe around this corner, right? Alara, you could make a listen at door check. Just Alara.
For the stairs at the far end of the hall or for this room?
If you want to do it at the stairs, just let me know when you get there. Like if you're trying to listen around the corner, For this room,
Did not pass.
Okay. For this room, it also looks as if it was emptied out in haste. However, there is a single cabinet that has been tossed over on its side, partially broken.
Hmm.
I'm gonna quietly gesture at it and point to it so that the others in the group can see that there's something there without alerting.
So I guess we got torchlights filling in the room enough now that Edward's in the hall to kind of make out the details. So it's been ransacked except for that cabinet.
We'll have a look, I suppose.
Yep, I can't help but want to investigate that.
At this
I'll probably
point,
hang out here at the doorway to keep an eye and ear out.
okay. At this point, everyone will need to take a 10-minute rest in order to not gain a penalty. And does everyone have food on them? Food and
Yep,
water,
I do.
a water skin. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then the torch goes out.
I light another.
All right. And all right. Okay, so you are watching the hall, and then what are you all doing inside of the room? Sorry, I was trying to calculate all that.
He's checking out the.
Yeah, if we kind of if I can do it while we're resting, kind of, I guess go check out that cabinet.
This will be the next round, but you check out the cabinet. It has a small, or not a small, it has a drawer that's stuck. But it's just wooden, and half of it is broken. The leg's broken off.
It's stuck. Is it stuck? Like, I guess I should check for traps again. Just something. I hate to force something if it's gonna explode on me or something.
All right, that's another round. It's part of the same round. This is what you would do on this round. So, what do you have to do for? What is it you have to roll for that? I mean,
Find traps is a 25%.
25. Okay. All right, you don't see any traps.
All right. Is this so? It's not locked, but it's stuck. Is that a thing that would need thieves' tools, or is that just like a strength? Or
It's not incredibly sturdy. You think that you could probably just force it open.
all right. Stand back. I guess I'll try and force this thing open.
All right, everybody stands back and you force it open, and like you pull open the drawer, and there's this big, intricate. You think maybe I want to use the word arcane, but it has it's a big key that was put in this drawer.
Hey, I said something about a key, guys. Is it?
All right.
We can maybe go try that.
Yeah, let's head back and try that real quick.
All right. Let's see. That was. This is 80 minutes of dungeon time. Things. Whoops.
Everybody's gathered around the crate.
No, Carlone, hang out by the
I'm
door.
gonna hold
Sorry.
watch over here.
I'm only over here so he can see.
Yeah, I need some light to see by.
Elmer's just too curious. He's got his shield up and his eyes peering through his helmet, but
Vision is dark vision. Why is it still not showing anything then? Vision is dark vision. Oh, vision enabled. Update. That's weird. I don't understand. Okay. Give me a second, please.
This is. Do I sense a goblin ambush?
yeah, they're all in the box.
Yeah.
Alara, what are you doing?
I'm at the hall that I'm at. I'm
Right here?
on guard over here, listening and watching while they're fiddling with the box.
Make a listen at door check. And actually, no, I'm sorry. I will make it run. Well, that's good.
Oh,
Does that
sorry.
pass?
Yeah, go ahead and make it. Mine didn't turn out.
You don't hear anything.
Darn, too bad I'm too busy. That would have worked for me. 3 is. Yeah.
Let's see here. And give me just a second. All right. So what do you do with the box?
Well, I guess is it obvious how the mechanism works, or is there still like some deciphering to go on with it? So you said it was kind of complicated, arcane looking, so I didn't know how much effort it is to use it on this thing.
Do you attempt to use it on it?
Well, I guess it does. So when you say this thing is arcane, like how so? Is it like a puzzle kind of key thing? Or is it just, has it got it clear, like it seems to fit in here and then it'll do all the work on its own? Or do I have to like,
It
play
does
with
it
to
does
make it
actually
work?
appear as if it would slot into it.
Okay. Well, I said I didn't find any traps on the box earlier, so I'll try it. I'll see if I can get it to, see if this key opens it.
All right, it does. You just put it in, and you don't even have to turn it. You just put it in, and it goes. There's all sorts of strange mechanisms clicking, and then all of a sudden it goes, and the lock just latches off of it without a problem.
Ooh. Is it removable? Can we save it for later? Huh?
Yeah, you can keep this strange key if you prefer.
As a keepsake?
Yeah, if you you lose minus 10 hit points. I don't know.
Somehow I'm level 3 again.
Yeah, so it's unlocked. It's like a level drain.
All right, well, let's see what's in the box.
Pop her open.
You do that. Let's see here.
Goblins everywhere. Wait. Oh, great.
Goblins in a box. Can you imagine? If the
I was like, I'm
campaign
totally
ended
gonna
that
use
way,
that
it'd be
now.
worth it. Like if 20
Surprise!
goblins came out.
Final Fantasy VI. Monster in a box.
Yeah.
Everybody roll a D100.
Oh, no.
How do you?
There's a little dice thing on the bottom left.
Nine. I hope 90 is going.
The-
Oh, was that?
I rolled
That was
a
9.
1. I rolled a 1 out of 100.
I rolled a 9.
We were on the wow.
All right. So when you open the box, you see several things. First of all, it's padded inside. It's got padding. And there are these small objects that are set equidistant from one another. I'm going to tell you what they are. The first thing is simple enough. Another tiny chest that is unlocked. And when you open it, there are, well, not tiny, but like this big, like a chest. And there are 900 silver pieces in this chest.
Ooh.
There is equidistant from that a ring with a beautiful blue gem that seems to shimmer set inside in it. What did you get, Birdie, for your D100?
74.
You find a what appears to be a piece of paper, piece of vellum, and it has a hand with a lock in the center of the paper, and then around it is some sort of strange language.
If I show it to Ben, can he read what it says?
You can try.
80%. Let's check. Nope.
Oh,
Ah,
It's beyond me.
You get a idea, and sadly, I think this means, well, maybe there's like different styles or something, but this is like a holy writ of some kind. Anyways, what did you get, Ben?
I rolled a 1.
You find a wooden spoon. It has a rune carved in it, and like the spoon part of the spoon.
Found a spoon.
You can make another read languages check if let's see if you can read this.
I'm going to keep studying that. Once I level up, maybe I'll be able to decipher that other
So,
one. Let's see if this rune makes any sense.
According to how I read the bard, I think I could make a lore check on all these
You
items.
gotta be
absolutely.
kidding me.
Yeah, you could absolutely
Jeez.
do that.
Well,
Now,
Hey,
I'm
Three.
rolling high.
I would suggest you could just
Ow.
start with one lore check, and then this will, and then we can kind of go from there. But yeah, okay. So you don't know what the spoon says. What did you get, Steve?
I got a 47.
A 47. Okay. You get a these are boots, big, heavy boots. And the entrance to them is smaller than the size of the boot, but it looks like your feet would fit.
Ooh, that's tempting.
What did you get? What did Edward get?
9.
You see a, I think that you would know what this is. A smoking pipe. It still has some tobacco in it.
I would not yet know what that is. Don't think.
With the
No.
hobbits?
Yeah,
I don't know,
the
I
hobbits
would-
would- the Hobbit,
maybe I-
absolutely. He would be like, a smoking pipe?
I
And I'll even roll for them. Let's see. 83, 18, 86. Squints finds a I don't know what to call this thing. And I don't think your characters would know what this is. It's a little horsey thingamajig, like a little stand with a bar with metal strings that connect to steel balls.
Like an instrument? Or...
No, it's one of those executive
dice chain?
executive stress toy type things.
Yeah. The metal balls go back and forth.
Yeah.
And then Knob finds a comb with an amber color to it. These things are like padded and separated from each other, by the way, I want to note.
Okay.
And then lastly, an 86, Tharnlin finds a black cat that is taxidermied, but it has wings.
Oh, lucky Thornland.
You find all these strange objects perfectly equidistant and padded inside of this crate. We've been here for a while, so I'm going to also roll a d6.
Helmer mutters, perhaps we should just close this.
Do you keep the items? Oh, well, first of all, lore check for... Okay, so you got a 3. Does that pass?
I got no, it does not.
Okay, that lore dice. Is it passed? Like once or twice, I guess it is.
I think twice I have succeeded. Yes.
You could
This
also you could attempt to make a lore check because there's probably several things you could have done by now. You could also do one. Here's how I see your lore ability. I don't think that you usually know the particulars of the thing. Like I don't think you'd be like, oh, that's the fork of Saint So and So. I don't think you would know that. Instead, I think you would know the big picture, and you'd come in from the big picture. I think that's how you would know things here.
It's. I mean, don't forget, I did go to the Druidic College.
Right. No, and that's why I think that's why you would know. And there is even a kind of a quality of a stranger in a strange land to it, where you would know some things that people that are even here wouldn't know. But I think you have that kind of removed big bird's eye picture of things, not the particulars.
Yeah.
Anyways, you could also roll a lore check for this place, which we didn't do. Should be a separate one. Does that pass?
That's a success.
Nice. Okay. Here are some things that you know about the history of the Vale. You know that there are cycles of history. You have heard them obliquely referred to by people here, but they're thought of differently at the the College of Lore and in the Kingdom of Perenval. The big eras are known as the Ancient Ones, as the first era when people came here, sometimes called the Fallen Ones, and they were this like incredibly powerful magical people. And then the humans came from a world called Greyhawk, and they kind of like invaded this world, so to speak. And they set up this kingdom that was called the Kingdom of Light. And it was this like religious monarchy that existed for centuries. And then it said that kingdom fell. And it fell to darkness and became corrupted. And then Alaria, a different Alaria, not the barmaid, Alaria, I can't think of her, Alaria... Fascinating. She was such a big deal in this campaign 2.5 years ago. And I can't think of her last name right now. But anyways, this great hero, who was an elf, traveled to this world with a bunch of heroes and liberated the Vale from the fallen Kingdom of Light, which had fallen, and defeated them and established Perenval. So that was kind of like the third era. And then you've entered a fourth era where Alaria, everyone knows, became a lich. And these heroes... Yeah, so there's something that happens here. There are these cycles. And anyways, what you can tell from this place is that it was probably human. It was made by humans. And that's worth noting because either side of the first and third era were dominated by demi-humans. The second era, the Kingdom of Light, was dominated by humans.
Is my bird being annoying, or is she?
I'm just sounding like a bird.
Okay, I didn't know if I needed to mute. He's happy.
I'm glad he's happy.
So meaning that this would be the same ilk of people that from which Brandon and Griff and all the others came, whoever made this place.
Yeah, that's a fair inference. Because you can look at this place and tell it was made by humans. The significant thing about the human empire of the Vale, first of all, somewhere to the north of the Kingdom of Perenval, which by now you could probably infer that's where you must be then, because there are all these human peoples here, right? And second of all, that these people, a long time ago, it was said that their kingdom fell to like darkness and evil. And
right.
But that was a long time ago, like 800-900 years ago.
Right. So you've called it a temple already. Does that mean I would know it's a temple? Or no, Tharnlin called it a temple.
No, it was Ben that was able to identify
Yeah, I
that.
read that it was called an Abbey of the Frozen Life or
Okay.
something.
And Tharnlin identified that the murals were younger than the temple itself.
Okay, so is this so the Abbey of Frozen Life? Yeah, I already rolled for that. So it's getting close to 11:30. I'm wondering when can we say that we head back to what's its place for the night?
Well, I mean, this is not one for one time, so we can just pick right up in the dungeon.
Okay, all right,
next
if
session.
that's okay.
Yeah.
Um,
I would say Alara, because the time has passed. Alara and Helmer can make new listen at door checks, and I'm going to move them to, and you can make the checks actually.
Hear everything that's not there.
Everything is fine, and that's where we'll end the session.
Perfect.
Great.